In Against the Odds, you refer repeatedly to the sense of justice. In fact, you end the book saying, "May the human sense of justice prevail forever. That is our hope for a better future." Why do you think it is so essential?
The sense of justice is at the core of what I think was the end result of the Depp versus Heard case, and therefore is at the core of this book. It explains why, against the odds, the jury in the US favored Depp. Markus Dubber taught us about the sense of justice, and I am going to refer mainly to his work. Dubber says, and I quote, "Understood as a type of moral competence and the capacity for empathic role-taking in particular, the sense of justice is nothing less than that bundle of cognitive and affective capacities which connect individuals in a modern pluralistic state. The sense of justice as empathy makes individuals' claims the business of the state community and thereby makes justice and governance through law possible. In fact, the sense of justice is an individual capacity as we have the capacity for language. It can be understood as a moral disposition arising from emotional reactions grounded in the recognition of features considered relevant to judgments of fairness. And it is inherent to all of us humans. Therefore, we do not tell about an American, British, or Swedish sense of justice. Instead, we think of it as a universal capacity shared by all competent individuals in any community. To fully understand what the sense of justice is, it is also important to understand what it is not. Knowing it helps us explain why Heard's US legal team's strategy in relying on Depp's messages and his obscene, expletive-laden language to portray him in a bad way may have failed. Determining whether conduct reflects moral turpitude or whether a person possesses good character does not in itself pertain to questions of justice. An act becomes unjust when one person refuses to recognize another as an equal and rational agent, effectively excluding them from the sphere of justice. Yet, immoral or unethical behavior does not automatically qualify as unjust. Conduct that violates moral norms or public decency may be ethically troubling, but it fails to meet the criteria for injustice. Dubber refers to the example of homosexual conduct and how it was considered by some moral codes in the past. It doesn't matter from the standpoint of justice whether someone considers homosexuality immoral. The problem is not figuring out the moral feelings with respect to gay sex. No matter what those feelings might be, justice does not demand that they be enforced through law. Well, the opposite. The sense of justice would condemn the punishment of homosexuality, since homosexual individuals also deserve to be respected as persons. The same can be said for those with problematic use of drugs and alcohol. The sense of justice enables life within a just community by combining a fundamental cognitive capacity with a corresponding emotional disposition, allowing individuals to recognize one another as entitled to fair treatment under shared principles of justice. The sense of justice may be understood as a specific type of empathic response, distinguished from other forms of empathy by the kind of identification that activates it. In this case, the response is grounded in recognizing another individual as a moral agent, rather than merely as a member of a particular social group. Being wealthy, an actor, or an older man does not disqualify the individual as a person. The sense of justice often has been mistaken for a reflex and a self-protective impulse in particular. But what sets the sense of justice apart from instinctual responses is its reliance on both reasoning and will. acting in accordance with one's sense of justice depends on the ability to identify with others and to adopt their perspective. In contrast to more immediate empathic reactions, the sense of justice involves reflection and abstraction. The jury, as the guardians of justice, is the institution created to ensure that the principles of justice are never ignored. The role of the jury is to ensure that the result of the legal process rests on a judgment informed by the sense of justice rather than on technicalities, ethical abstractions, or arbitrary considerations. And in this regard, I think the jury in the US did a good job.